Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since my last video, I think a little over a month. And in my last video I was discussing Iron Man VR that was unveiled during PlayStation State of Play presentation. And like I said in that video, I don't think there's a better character that fits the VR model than Iron Man. It just makes so much sense to have an Iron Man VR game. But either way, I started thinking of other characters that I would like to play as in a VR game. I don't necessarily think these games should happen. Maybe they would benefit from a traditional third-person or first-person game, but maybe something about their powers and abilities got me thinking of how that would translate in a VR game. So without any further rambling, here are 5 superheroes I would like to play as in a VR game. Number 5, become the Punisher. So this one you can picture pretty easily. I mean, it would pretty much be a first-person VR shooting game, which there's been a ton of in both PlayStation and just VR in general. It's one of the more popular genres, first-person shooting games. So you might be thinking, why add the Punisher to a pile of just another VR first-person shooter? And I think back to the interrogation minigames from the PlayStation 2 Punisher game, and how cool it would be to really be in full control of that interrogation sequence. I remember there being like a meter that you have to time in order to successfully gain information from the thug that you're interrogating. But how cool it would be to kind of just really be in control with motion controls. I think back to the Piranha interrogation sequence, where you'll be holding the guy's head with the motion control and kind of just dipping his head, just kind of scaring him into the tank of full of piranhas, and just really feel like you're in full control. You got the guy by the head, and you're I'm not an abuser. Number 4, become the Wolverine. Hold on a second. That's much more fitting. Alright, so level with me for a second. We've all done it. We've taken pencils or utensils, put them between our fingers, and pretended to be Wolverine. I've done it. Even the real-life Wolverine has done it. I'll throw up a picture. Here, there's me, there's Wolverine. I bet you can't tell the difference. That's just how effective the utensils between the fingers to make you look like Wolverine is. I bet you can't guess which one's me. But that would be all child's play if we had a Wolverine VR game where you can really have the claws between your fingers and stab and gut every hopeless bastard. Seriously, I don't have a problem. Number 3, become the Ant-Man. So one thing I find really cool that VR games do, more specifically strategy VR games, is that you're able to be really giant and kind of have this god perspective overlooking a battlefield, but then you can also shrink down and really be in the battle alongside everybody else, like instantaneously. So with that capability of doing that in those type of VR games, I think having an Ant-Man VR game where you can become really big like Giant Man, or shrink down to ant size, to kind of traverse the level or kind of sneak around enemies or solve puzzles, or become really big and have like a huge epic boss fight kind of Godzilla style in the middle of a city. I think that would be really cool, just with that mechanic itself of growing really big and shrinking down to kind of go from one perspective where you're overlooking everything, or shrink down to the whole other side of the spectrum and have another perspective where everything is giant around you and you're able to kind of explore different crevices or secret passageways to kind of find secrets, or traverse a level, or stealth around enemies. So yeah, I think a VR Ant-Man game would be pretty cool. Number 3, become the Doctor Strange. That one doesn't really work. So one thing I really noticed about Doctor Strange after seeing his movie is his abilities involve a lot of hand stuff, like, oh, I just hit the mic. A lot of this, a lot of like that and stuff like that. He does this a lot in Infinity War. He kind of I mean, look. I'm gonna put Doctor Strange. Like, you won't even be able to tell difference. Which one's me? Which one's Doctor Strange? I mean, it's that effective. Fuck. So yeah, a Doctor Strange VR games. I remember a while back, excuse me. When they first unveiled the PlayStation Move controllers, there was like this magic game. It involved like a book. I don't remember the name of it, but there was gonna be this magic game where it involved a lot of gestures with the PlayStation Move controllers, and I think that'd be great to have for a Doctor Strange VR game where you have all these different abilities and they're activated by doing different gestures with the PlayStation Move controllers. And that's just one thing. You can also have a lot of fun playing with that whole Inception kind of thing that happened in the Doctor Strange movie, where the level is kind of folding around you and it's playing with your surroundings and stuff like that. I think having something like that in a VR game would be kind of cool. Maybe opening up portals. You know, you open up one of those portals, open another one over there. Just kind of playing around with the environment. You know, I mean, Doctor Strange with just him being a magician. There's like endless possibilities you could do with powers and abilities in a video game. Number 1, become the Spider-Man.
It's just Spider-Man, okay? There's no the.
I mean, this is one we've all wanted. You know, just a VR Spider-Man game where you're swinging through the city, feeling that momentum, that speed, you know, going down, swinging, coming back up, letting go of the web line and shooting another one. I mean, man, that's got to be one hell of an experience in VR. There's already been a Spider-Man VR experience tied to Spider-Man Homecoming, but I mean, I'll be real with you, it's kind of ass. It's not the best. There's no swinging. Like, the one swinging there is, you're pretty much just teleporting from one place of the level to the other. It's mostly just playing around with different web modes, like web balls and the traditional web line, and kind of throwing around objects. And even then, it was kind of janky and it wasn't really the best. But to have a maybe not a full-fledged Spider-Man game, just give me a sandbox, and it doesn't even have to be the size of Manhattan. You know, I'm not asking for Spider-Man PS4 levels of map size, but just a good couple blocks where I can just swing around and really feel like I'm Spider-Man. If you need your Spider-Man VR swinging fill, I recommend you check out Winland's VR. It's probably the closest thing we have right now to a Spider-Man VR experience, and it's pretty cool. I mean, the first time I played Winland's VR, I got that feeling in you know, in the bottom of your stomach, like when you're going through a roller coaster. It was something. But I want to be in Manhattan, just swinging around the block, you know, swooping down to street level in between cars and stuff like that. It would just be something. So yeah, those were 5 characters that I think would be cool to play as in VR. Let me know what characters you would like to play as in VR. I didn't include any DC characters. I mean, that wasn't intentional, but I guess I just couldn't think of any. Green Lantern, maybe? That would be cool. Yeah, Green Lantern. Just kind of having the power ring and you swing a hammer around. Thor. That could be another cool VR game. Just kind of spinning Mjolnir around, throwing it. I don't know. I mean, like, I would want to play as every superhero in VR. And you might say, you know, there's Powers United VR. To which I say, oh yeah. So yeah, that was a video. This one was kind of weird because it was pretty much unscripted, which is why you probably noticed that I rambled here and there, stumbled on my words. I think I want to get into the habit of doing these kind of videos, just kind of having a conversation with you guys rather than just reading off a script as I normally do with my reviews. To give you an update on the channel, I've been away for a little bit, so I want to give you guys an update on what's gonna be going on in the future. For those of you that don't know, I have a podcast with 2 of my good friends, Xavier, also known as Godzilla Mendoza, and Josh from Panels for Pixels. Auto Saving the Day. It's been a while since we've done an episode. I want to get back on that train of we were on a weekly basis, but work happened and scheduling difficulties with my work getting in the way and stuff like that. But I want to get back because it's a lot of fun. If you haven't checked out the podcast, I'll leave a link down below, and just check out any of the episodes, and you'll see that we just have fun doing it, discussing superheroes and video games alike. The Batman handheld retrospective, I haven't done an episode in a long time, and I want to get back on that train as well. I believe Batman on the Game Gear is supposed to be the next one I'm reviewing, so that'll be coming out within the next couple of weeks. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more superhero related video game stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.